No better or worse than any other GM. Is exactly right. And that's why his tenure wasn't good. Given average drafting, average development, passing grade should be unacceptable for this franchise. Come on, Ian. How do you believe that? How many trips to the playoffs did they make? Semifinals, finals. You know how many NHL teams would like to do what Montreal did the last 10 years? Based on their drafting alone? Like, they built that team drafting in the 20s. That's pretty good. But I get it. You want Ryan Poehling to be Austin Matthews. You want to be like the Toronto Maple Leafs. Draft all these players in the 20s and... Oh, whatever. Come on, buds. Your defense of this dude does not know who you are legitimately... Your defense of this dude who does not know you is legitimately weird. That's not weird. You're weird. Your pants are weird. That 2012 season was some of the worst hockey I've ever seen in the Habs history. And I survived the 90s. That season was so freaking horrible. I can't even tell you how bad that season was for me. I would have been what? 41? So Bergevin's hired in May, and right off the bat, he drafts Alex Galchenyuk. That's a great pick in 2012, is it not? What's wrong with that pick? Tell me. If the Oilers had taken Galchenyuk, do you think Bergevin would have passed on Yakupov? What did you want? So yeah, and now it's not... Do you know Alex's history with his family and stuff? You know why he didn't develop into a superstar in the NHL, right? Because no one did in that freaking that draft. Let's have a look. Oh, Griffin Reinhart, number 4. Morgan Rielly, number 5. He was an all-star, wasn't he? I don't know. I'm not sure. Definitely not a superstar. Lindholm, Dumba. Oh, that was the year of the defenseman. Oh, Philip Forsberg. That's pretty good. Pretty good pick at 11. And 10 other teams passed on him. Greg Arenko. Oh, my stars. Gergensons. Oh, Buffalo. I remember that now. Ooh, Tom Wilson's a good pick. Number 16. Should have taken Tom Wilson, right, Ian? We should have taken Tom. Buds. All right. That's 2012. 2013. What would I know? Horrible draft year 2013. Horrible. Unless you're picking 1, 2, or 3. Let's see. 1, 2, or 3. Nathan McKinnon, Barkov, Drouin. And we ended up with Drouin. We'll get to that later. And where did we pick? McCarron, Delarose, Fakal, Lakanen. All NHL players. All pro players. You could have picked almost every player in that second round. And every single one of them, except for maybe Lekanen. No, not maybe. Except for Lekanen. And who was the other fella? It doesn't matter. 2 players are special from that second round. You could have picked that entire round if you missed out on those 2 players. And every single one of them would be somewhere else today. Because that's what happens when you draft. It's got not... Freaking Lions. It's got nothing to do with drafting and development. It's got everything to do with the talent that's available and the position you're drafting. Michael McCarron. Who were the players drafted after Michael McCarron? Let's have a look here. Michael McCarron. Where are you, McCarron? Shea Theodore. Now, that is a head-scratcher. I would have taken Shea today. But back then, that's not what we were looking for. Mark Dano, Klemchuk, Dixon, Hartman, and a bunch of other players I don't even know. You could have picked every player after McCarron, and you would have failed as a GM. That's in your direct line of thinking. That's what you're thinking, right? It's all Bergevin's fault that those players were available in that draft range. Come on, Ian. Come on. What else we got? 2014. Oh, yes, Nikita Scherbak. Love Nikita Scherbak. I watched him play here in Brandon. He's an outstanding junior hockey player, elite sniper in junior. I loved him. When they picked him, I'm like, holy crap, this is going to be awesome. But it's not their fault that he's not awesome. He didn't translate into an NHL player. It's not his fault. It's not the org's fault. You can't take players that don't have the aptitude to go farther than they are. Otherwise, I'd be in the NHL because I was a pucking superstar in Bantam. I tried out for the midgets, made the midget team, but Dad wouldn't let me play. But that's it. That's all. That's my claim to fame. 14 years old or 15 years old, I made the midget team. Jake Evans was drafted 7th overall, or in the 7th round. That's an incredible pick. It's fluky as you know what, but that's the way it goes. What else we got? Sherback. So we picked Sherback. And you could have picked any player of the next 10, and they all would be gone right now. And it's not because of the NHL teams that development. It's just they didn't have the aptitude to play farther than whatever they were doing at the time. 2015. Yep, another late seat. One player in the next 10. Who did we pick in 15? Was that Juleson? Again, I was happy with Juleson. That's a great pick. What are you going to do? You could have picked any player after Juleson in that round. The next 10, I should say. I have to clarify that because I know you'll come back with some snarky reply. You could pick any 10 players after Juleson, and they'd be gone today. And it wouldn't be the Org's fault. It's their fault. It's actually not even a fault. They're still pro players. They're still playing pro somewhere in the world. It's just that's the way it goes. If you're not drafting 1 through 15 constantly, you're going to have a team full of blue-collar hockey players. 2015. Oh, Sebastian Aho. I know. He's a great pick. But again, how many teams passed on him before Carolina hit on him? 30? Obviously. 2016. He didn't mention Sergachev. What a great pick. Again, look, why was he great, though? 9th overall. Picks between 1 and 15. Pretty good. Yeah, it was a horrible trade. Whatever. But you saw what they were doing with Sergachev, right? Somebody in that org, and I'm guessing that was Molson, wanted a francophone superstar. And Drouin was pretty freaking good. He had good numbers. And I don't know the man personally, but how do you predict when a player is going to fail in the NHL? You can't. It's a 50-50 roll of bones, don't you think? Did you think Drouin at the time was going to be a good pick? I actually didn't. I read his background and I wasn't a big fan of the trade. But hey, that's why I'm sitting here. You're sitting there. And they're sitting up there, looking down at all of us, laughing their asses off. Oh my God, another armchair GM telling us what to do. Pizzetta, they got Pizzetta that round, or that draft. 2017, Ryan Poehling. Is it Poehling or Poehling? It's got to be Poehling. Another late round pick. What do you want him to do? Do you want him to turn into an all-star? He is what he is based on his seat. Scored 4 goals in the opening game. That was pretty neat. That's his claim to fame right now. Let's see. 10 players chosen after Poehling. Boqvist, Ratcliffe, Haig, Lind, Timmins, Costin, Eli Tolvanen. I like him. Jarku and Bowers and Morgan Frost and but you wanted Jake Ottinger, right? That you predicted he was going to be a great goalie. Come on, Ian. I'll check your history later. We'll see what happens. 2018. You didn't mention Harris. You didn't mention Romanoff. I wonder if it's Romanoff now. Whatever. F-U-R-U. Ylonen. All pro hockey players, are they not? Harris is probably the pick of the draft for them there. That's pretty good. Kokanami. Yeah, what are you going to do about that? What were they after in 2018? What did they want? What was their number one major want? They wanted a big center. And was he not a big center with talent? I don't know. I guess it's the Canes' problem now that he's got next to nothing in points for the last 40-odd games. It's Montreal's fault that he's doing that, right? No, it's not. Come on, Ian. You wanted me to list them all. I'm listing them all. 2019, Caulfield, Strubal's an interesting pick. We're still waiting on him. I don't even think he'll play with the org. Who knows? And I can't pronounce this goalie, Ditchkow. I don't even know where he's from, but apparently he's a pretty good goaltender. We'll see what happens sometime in the near 3-4 years, near future. 2020, Goulet, Tuck, Mysak, and another goalie, Dobes. Again, I hear he's pretty good. I don't know. I don't really care for watching video of junior players and trying to analyze whether they're going to be the next Carey Price. But a lot of people with more information than I do say he's pretty good. But you left him out. And I guess you don't like the Mailloux pick or Joshua Waugh. I know what he did was wrong. And he was punished for it. Somebody was probably going to take him. So why not Montreal? Come on. Ethics and values. He made a mistake and he's paying for it every single day. He's going to be an NHL player. Don't know where. Hopefully in Montreal. Joshua Waugh, I'm not a big fan, but a lot of people like him. Going to play for Team Canada 2 years in a row. I just wish he fixed his skating. His stride. It's off to me. Again, I'm a freaking beer league superstar. My skating's superb. Again, Ian, you wanted me to list them all, and here I am. That's what I did. Don't call guys out. Do your own homework before you make a comment. Come on, Ian. Be better. Shade out.